I want to look at our first two drives, which resulted in interceptions. And 15 plays in the first two drives, 12 pass, 3 run plays.
Say it
12
again. Hold on. Wait a minute. Say it again, please. Go ahead.
12 pass plays, 3 run plays to our first two drives.
There it is.
I mean, that tells you everything. They result in 2 interceptions. And like second half, we finally get a semblance of a run game. And then that's where things kind of take off. In our first scoring drive, we had 9 plays. I believe 4 of the 9 plays were run plays. And that was, it was first half, and then we had the ball back. And then that was the end of the half, kind of awful drive there. But then we go to the second half, and then you go touchdown. But JD, what did you see from Teja? What did you guys see from the first half play calling to second half play calling? And was it only the kind of emergence of a run game that kind of opened things up for us? What else did you see from the offensive line as well?
I mean, I'd have to say it was. Our first scoring drive, that's what we did. We ran the football. So, Reid right up the middle, and, Kareem Hunt getting down there toward the end. But I think it's what it entails that. You have to run the football in this game, just period. It helps out the pass as much as you could possibly think it would. So, teams are going to be playing this because they know we're going to pass the football, but we got to run the ball. And so Pacheco looked good tonight. Kareem looked good tonight. Our guys, they had Reid back there, in the wildcat position. He looked great at night. That sucker's, he's a strong man. Reid Rice is a strong guy. And so the way he hit that hole coming up the middle, man, he was like a rocket. It was absolutely rocket. But I think it is. Marcus, it definitely takes running the football to change this thing around. I think second half, you started doing incorporating a little bit more of that. But also, too, it was a lot of Patrick Mahomes magic. It was. Somebody said that it looked like Jalen Moore was getting abused in the first half. I mean, a couple of linemen obviously were out, with Trey being out too, and Alec Reddy. Ooh, man. A couple of times, man, they got around him. He was like a statue just standing there. And I was just like, geez, that's not good. So Patrick took a couple little shots. But other than that, man, second half, I think they came back, put it all together, got into a great rhythm. And so it looked like we were supposed to look, put it that way.
Tej, first half to second half, thoughts?
Yeah, too many long third downs. We had 2 double-digit third downs in the first drive. Both of our interceptions came on third downs in the first half. We just weren't putting our team in a good position on enough third and shorts in the first half. Finally, that our first touchdown drive, you saw, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and goal from the 2. So it's a lot better when you get play action involved. You get teams scared of the run. They were opening up some nice holes once you actually let them do it. There were times where we ran the ball once and then we wouldn't run the ball. I think there's a couple times, Marcus, where I was like, dude, why don't you just run it again? It's wide open. Yeah. Like, why are you passing the ball twice after that?
That big Kareem run. Kareem had a big run for 11 yards, and then they went to the 3 straight pass right after that, and it was kind of like a lull.
And we started hitting a rhythm, and it looked great, But yeah, the first half was a little rough. I thought we were looking ahead of Buffalo for a moment there. I thought we weren't looking at the opponent in front of us. We did. Yeah, it was sloppy. I mean, we had 9 penalties yet again, almost double digits. That's not good. That's sloppy ball. So, but definitely, our run game just looked so good once they actually started doing it. I think that changed a lot of things for us.
Yeah. I say I don't think they was. You think they were looking ahead to Buffalo? You think?
No, I said I was starting to think that for a moment there when we just were asleep in the first half. I was like, "What are we doing here?" Like, what's?
Well,
I mean,
look at the first drive. If we don't get that interception, I mean, they could have easily scored. I mean, the way was just running down the field, treading. It was mixing up, run and pass, and it looked great. It's like, wow, this is just okay. They're coming out here to play. I mean, Mariota. We talked about it. I mean, he's a very capable quarterback. He's a journeyman, but we understand that he was a second pick in the draft for a reason. because of his legs. And, he makes pretty good decisions. He's a good quarterback. And so he gave him a chance. McLaurin came back today. And so they had some things, obviously, on offense that they could have really made some noise. And it did look like they was going to do that too. So that took a lot out of them. And that little bounce off of Debo, I was like, man, thank you, Debo, for that one. Jeez.
Yeah. Both pretty sloppy. We had two tied in turnovers. The third down and fourth down efficiency is interesting. They were better on third down. We were better on fourth down. And when you combine third and fourth, we were both 50%. So that's what killed them in a lot of those drives, those fourth down conversion attempts. I mean, they just a little too aggressive for their own good there.
Part of what you were saying, Teja, about like the looking ahead aspect, you said it felt like it was, but I did notice this, right? And Commanders got their butts whooped last week. And JD, you always talk about like, these guys, they get paid too, right? And when you're coming off a game where you got your butts handed to you, you come into this game and you can tell, and I see Beach 303 says that right here. Washington wanted it more in the first half to me. You watch both teams. It felt like Washington was a more physical team. They wanted it more. They were, like there was that one point where they tackled Pacheco and they had like 5 guys had him up in the air, like like he was like surfing through the crowd. It was like, it's like, man, these guys really want this game, and like they're coming out full force. I mean, they were getting the pat, and I thought they had no pass rush without Dorrance Armstrong, and every guy on that defensive line was getting after it. Jalen Moore, like we talked about, Jalen Moore kind of looking shaky a little bit, but they wanted it more. They kind of came out with more aggression, and it wasn't until we kind of like settled in. We got the we got the run game involved a little bit. That's where it was kind of like, okay, now we're evening things up a little bit. But what did you make of that? Because it did seem like they wanted it more for that first like couple 20 minutes of that game.
Look, they got a great staff. I mean, Dan Quinn and those guys are going to have those guys ready. I mean, that's why I was sitting there thinking, look, this is not going to be an easy game. Obviously, Jaden Daniels not out there hurts them a whole lot, but I mean, they have, when you look up and down who they got on the sideline as coaches, they're going to have these guys ready. So we're talking about former players, coaches have been other places and won Super Bowls and whatnot. They were going to be prepared and ready to come into Arrowhead because these guys haven't played at Arrowhead before. It's not like some of these new coaches that's kind of coming in and, don't really have any, of the gray on their beard. These guys are seasoned coaches and they understand how to get the team ready. And so, you've seen it. They had a focus coming in like, look, this is what we had to do in Arrowhead. We have to attack. We got to make sure when we come in, we got to set the tone. And they looked like they were going to set the tone on the very first drive of the game. And then it was that whole, the interception. So I don't ever discount players when you have somebody leading them. A coach especially puts those things all together for guys and paint a picture about what it is you have to do to win in an environment like Arrowhead. And I think, Dan and those guys do a great job. When you start looking at them, I'm like, dang on, they got him over there too. So it's just, as a player, when a coach that does have experience is telling you what to expect in a game like this, the stars that you're going against, you got to have it. There's got to be some measure about what it is what you do and having your whole, strategy down as far as like how you're going to attack it. So I think it was a lot of it, Marcus, man. They got a good staff. They got good players. This was a playoff team last year. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. Like we're talking about they were one game away from going to the Super Bowl. So getting beat by the Eagles. So this is, seriously, this is a good team.
Yeah, 3-4 team. I know people were acting like it was a 0-7 team going into this game. It was a 3-4 team. Now 3-5, but like this, this was. They were there and they won some games with Mariota too. And with the Mariota pick, which you mentioned, Teja, for most Chief fans are not. The OG Chief fans in the chat will get this. But I tweeted during the game when Mariota threw the pick that bounced off Debo's shoulder pads and Mike Dana caught the interception. I said to my Commanders fans around here, I also tweeted it, but I was like, Mariota Otis won. The Otis won for that one. Remember the playoff game of years back where he threw it and it bounced off defenders' shoulder pass and he caught it and they ran it in for a touchdown? Mariota Otis won. The Otis won for this one. So it was nice to see that he paid up finally.
Mariota's won.
You always got to sneak it in there. How's your pun?
It's too easy. You're just like serving that up for me like Pacheco and that crowd surfing.
But so the run game, which tonight I thought, I know everyone always talks about it, Teja, you being one of them, but a lot of people always talk about Kareem Hunt's yards per carry. And both of them tonight for a little while there, both of them were averaging more than 5 yards a carry.
I
But
know.
at the end of the game, they both averaged 4.8 yards and 4.4 yards a carry. Still great. But what did you make of that? I know we talked about Jalen Moore struggled a little bit, but like the offensive line obviously played better in the second half. At least that's where we got the run game going a little bit. What did you see from the offensive line? What did you see from the run game that you like so much? And obviously, it was. I mean, for us, it was more of a commitment to the run than we usually see, right? But 10 carries or 12 carries and 9 carries, so 21 between the two guys. And then if you add in Brashard, that's 3 carries, so 24 carries between our 3 backs. What did you make of the run game tonight?
I think they look pretty good. I think second half we started giving Jalen Moore a little bit more help. We started having a little bit more kind of max protection of guys kind of sitting in and at least chipping and then going out and releasing on routes. That's why you seen Patrick kind of somewhat running around, finding guys open, obviously in the zone. That one he threw to Travis Kelce, and Travis took off with 38 yards on the run. I mean, that joker was scooting up that sideline, man. I was like, look at him run. They always talk about how slow. I mean, he looked good on that run for sure. But the running game, yeah, he looked fast. Pacheco looked good. Kareem Hunt looked good. And we're still doing like the delayed run. I want us to get under center a little bit more in the play action, if you will. We're kind of running downhill. But you know what? Why it was effective is because everybody's sitting back in pass coverage, right? Yep. It's like we dare you to run the football. Okay, we're gonna come with 4, and we'll see what you're gonna do. So they know Bobby Wagner's not gonna be able to cover too many people, right? He just doesn't have it. I mean, we seen that Rashee Rice hit him on that juke move. That was just Bobby just ain't got the legs doing it anymore like he used to. Well, still one of the best ever. But yeah, our running backs look good, man. Pacheco looked good. Turning those legs, getting up the field. They was hitting the holes. Brashard Smith came in, gave it a little bit look. He hit that sideline, man, too, pretty fast. So I think we just need to do more of it. We really do. When we start talking about teams, now obviously the Commanders are the Commanders, little, beat up on defense. We start going into deep in the playoffs and whatnot. We have to incorporate a running game. We have to. So I think Brashard Smith's going to be a guy that's going to be able to come about a little bit later on. And I think we need to get him ready, to kind of carry that load a little bit more. Like I said, during the playoffs.
Yeah, it was weird that we didn't get to see a lot of him in the passing game tonight. He had that one toss play you were talking about, JD, which was negated from, I think, Rashee Rice's holding. They took that back. But, yeah, we didn't see him involved in the passing game at all today. Not that we needed to, but it was just interesting that it seemed like every week his passing game reps, again, he was getting more and more targets, at least a screen or two, but he didn't get anything today, which I thought was interesting.
I mean, Hollywood only had 1 target. It's going to be hard to get, it's just hard. We have a lot of guys. You're going to get guys that don't. I think Kelce, Rice, and Worthy are a slam dunk for 5 to 6 plus targets a week, every week. I think everyone outside of that, it's going to be a mixed bag. Some guys will have good weeks. Some guys will be non-existent other weeks. But I think those 3 guys are going to combine for at least 18 to 20 targets every week. But yeah, it was running game wise, it was really nice to see. Second game all season that both guys had over 4 yards a carry in the same game, which is nice to see. Pacheco's, I mean, it hasn't looked great at times, but he's stringing together a pretty good year. I mean, only 2 games below 4 yards a carry. The rest are his last 3 games, all 50 yards and above. I mean, it's still like to see them get the ball more, but I think I think their goal should be get Pacheco and Hunt a combined 20 carries, which seems to be about the level they get to. Like today they had 21. Last week they had 19. The week before they had 18. So I think if you're getting below that, I think you're starting to get a little. You're just not running enough. The week before that, we lost Jacksonville. They had a combined 14 carries in that game. So it just goes to show you. I mean, I bet you do the splits on that. Every time we don't run that much, it's trouble for us. But yeah, I thought we're creating a lot of holes lately, and that's without 2 of our starting linemen in there, which is really nice to see. I hope it continues. I hope we're going to need them, and I'm really glad that it looks like Pacheco's okay after that, because that hit, man, that knee did some bending, boy. Let me tell you what.
Yeah,
So
it didn't look it initially, and he was punching the ground first. I was like, oh no, that's not good. And then he went to sideline, he was okay, but
tested the stability of it, and then they just gave him a clear, like you're all right. So and he felt he wasn't even limping after he got checked out, right? He looked fine after that, but that could have been bad, man. That's got good ligaments, that guy. Got good ligaments. But yeah, I hope it continues.
Were you gonna say something, JD?
No, I think if something that happened to Pacheco, I still think we have the guys in there to do the work that we need to do. Like Teja was saying, I think we do need at least 20 to 25 carries every game. You have to do that just to keep the defense honest, And so if you don't do it, they don't have to honor it. So just keep dropping back, let 4 go hit home, and then we'd have to trust Mahomes with his legs and hope nothing happens to him and all those different things. And I don't think we want to be at that place. But I just kind of touch on like what Tay said also too. Like those 3 guys, we know, like you said, Sheed Rice, Travis Kelce, Worthy is going to be the guys. Everybody else, but I think the announcer said something about Travis Kelce was like, "Look, nobody cares. To be honest with you, who's catching the football? We all like each other, so we all want everybody to be successful. And so what we've seen is he's prepping the ball around to different guys that are just pretty much open that he's looking for. I even said I said this to Susan. I said the one that Lattimore caught that he was throwing at Hollywood, it was because Lattimore was so slow. Is the only reason he intercepted it.
Yeah.
He put over top of him, that would have been a touchdown. I was like, that's the only reason. That is the only reason he was able to get that that interception right there. Seriously. I was like, hey, he was beat. He go deep on it, he beat. So, sorry, it's okay. Two interceptions that just, like you said, just kind of happens, right? So protect the football. These guys going to be all right, man. I think what we're going to do week in and week out offensively is always going to look like this. 28, 35, so many points.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.